I was probably sort of one of the first more visibly trans veterinarians out there, sort of certainly in Australia and probably the world. I was very, very deeply buried, sort of any trans identity was very deeply buried, and I was seen and I guess identified as sort of as male. In 2011, I talked to Tara and I said I don't identify as a regular guy. For the next 4 years, we explored in private what that meant.
The starting point of that conversation was actually a friend who had mentioned that she'd had a previous partner that had come out as either cross-dressing or trans, and I didn't obviously blink an eyelid at that revelation from my friend, and then Kate found that to be the inspiration to finally sit down and say, I feel that way too, and that was the beginning of the journey.
We had what from the outside looked like this idyllic, perfect nuclear family, for want of a better term. And basically I've sat there and gone, it's kind of, essentially I've gone and blown it up and gone, yeah, no, that's not what we are, or not who I am. And so we had to deconstruct all of our internalized social biases as to what we thought success was, what we thought happiness was. What do we have left if we're not this ideal sort of societal nuclear family? What do we have left? What we had left was that we loved each other. So we started with that, and we built back up from there.
I don't really remember it being a particularly major deal. No one at school really worried about it. Family were still lovely and nice. Everyone at the vet clinic was still lovely and nice. I guess the major difference was the new wardrobe, and there were some questionable fashion choices originally that were purchased when she first transitioned. But I think now she's finding more of the style that suits her. We don't like to tell her this too often, but we are pretty proud of her, and just for making the big decision sort of later on in life to live her truth.
Here comes Ginge. Yeah, well, one day it was Adam, and then sort of literally it was a matter of, like, we sent out an email and, we said from this date, the sort of Adam will now be sort of known as Kate. And I would say the short answer to that is it went amazingly well.
Surprisingly, country towns are a lot more broad-minded than we have a stereotypical view of what a country town is going to be like. I'm not saying it's all plain sailing, it's not plain sailing in any community, but on the whole, I would say that our town has been fantastic.
So Tara and I lead an organisation called ARVA, Australian Rainbow Vets and Allies. We are heading to World Pride. We are running the very first diversity and inclusion conference for the veterinary industry ever in Australia. Because the veterinary profession is basically the least diverse profession in the world. So we're just hoping to try and get that conversation started so that it's through conversation and understanding that we can all grow and actually build a better world for everyone.